Hello everybody. Today I'm continuing with the planets in 2022 series and today we are exploring Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be in Aquarius and then in Pisces. Jupiter is always giving the fruits of good luck and good opportunities wherever he is placed. So this year Jupiter is not making any difficult connections. So let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton and we are talking 2022 and Jupiter's role in it. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. Also to remind you that my Saturn conference early bird is ending on 31st of December. So you don't want to lose out. We have an international faculty. It is going to be online with many great gurus teaching all you want to know about Saturn. Check it out on my website, komilla.com. So what about Jupiter? Jupiter starts the year in Aquarius and will be in Aquarius till 13th of April 2022, and then from 13th of April to the end of the year Jupiter is going to be in Pisces. During this time, one of the major positive things is that Jupiter is not going to conjoin with any of the big planets. It has already done its Saturn conjunction, Rahu and Ketu conjunctions. Therefore, it does have a yearly connection with the faster moving planets, Sun, Venus, Mercury, and once every 2 years connection with Mars. But otherwise it will not be making any big dramatic connection. So that is a good thing, so it is allowed to do what he does best, is to bless us, to give us opportunities, to show us the light. To give us a direction. Wherever Aquarius or Pisces is in your chart, that is where Jupiter is giving his opportunities and blessings. Unlike Saturn, wherever Saturn is, there's always some obstacle to deal with. Whereas Jupiter is expansive, he is giving opportunities, making things bigger and better. However, one thing to remember about Jupiter is that Jupiter expands everything. So therefore, he can also expand the negative things. So we have to be careful about the virus that is going on, and he can expand that as well. And especially in Aquarius, Jupiter is going to be in Shatabhishak Nakshatra up to 1st of March from January onwards. And therefore Shatabhishak is also to do with health and healing and herbs, and Rahu rules Shatabhishak. Therefore it is possible that the virus can get expanded, and these days there are all the new mutations of the virus that we all need to be cautious of. What happens with Jupiter usually is that because Jupiter gives us an easy pass, we tend to be less careful around it. I think that is the best way to put it, because like with Saturn, we are all worried, oh, Saturn is coming, let us be careful, cautious. Whereas Jupiter, because he blesses us, makes life easy for us, sometimes we can take risks, and I would say be careful about the risks. Beginning of the year, Jupiter is in Aquarius till 13th of April. Here actually there's some great underlying strength for Jupiter, because its two rulers, Saturn is in Capricorn, own sign, and Rahu is exalted in Taurus. However, Aquarius is about healing the world. It is about environment, about nurturing water, spirituality, thinking about other people, what we can do. And I think what we have to think seriously is that what is it that we can do? Sometimes we think the governments or other people are going to resolve this climate crisis that is there. And some of you may not believe there's any crisis, but those of you who believe and want to do something, we can think about our personal responsibility to do something small to look after this earth. This is our earth, this is our environment that we have to live in, and the future generations have to be living in. So while Jupiter is going in Aquarius, we should think about that and be conscious of this aspect. Now, while Jupiter is in Aquarius, he is also going to combust, be close to the Sun in the beginning of March, and that can be a bit of a burnout, especially if you're Sagittarius, Pisces, Jupiter's burnt out. It's telling you that take care, look after yourself, and that is most important. And then, while it is in Aquarius, this is not the best position for Jupiter. However, it has been celebrated from thousands of years because it's the end of the debilitation of Jupiter. And we are going into a easier phase where we are understanding our role in the higher hierarchy of the world and our higher selves. So why don't we try to bring that about? So up to the 13th of April, while Jupiter is in Aquarius, it will conjoin with Mercury and Sun. I already told you about the Sun. It is early part of March, and then later in March, Mercury will be with Jupiter in Aquarius, and they will have a planetary war, but just a couple of days and they will move on. But largely Jupiter is doing his own thing. And then on 13th of April, Jupiter goes into Pisces. Now this is really good news because in Pisces, Jupiter is going to be creating a Hamsa Mahapurusha yoga. Hamsa Mahapurusha yoga is a yoga of spirituality, higher self, good fortune, good luck. And Jupiter is in his own sign. However, by the end of this transit, Jupiter will go through Gandanta, which is in 2023, and we shall leave it for 2023. In 2022, Jupiter will be going into Pisces, and he will be enjoying Pisces and giving us many good luck opportunities to deal with. And especially if you are Gemini, Jupiter will be blessing in career. If you are Virgo, it is about relationships. If you are Sagittarius, it's about home and happiness. And if you are Pisces, like me, you're going to enjoy this transit. It is going to open the world and show a new idea. All others also, according to which sign Jupiter is, they will experience good luck and opportunities. Just to remember that I'm going to do a separate video where I'm going to talk about how 2022 affects each sign. This is a broad global picture for you to understand. I feel that because Jupiter is not troubled, he's doing the balancing act to Saturn, and Saturn is also not troubled, and this is a rare year where Jupiter and Saturn are both in dignity. Actually, 2022 and 2023, Saturn is going to be in Capricorn, Aquarius. Jupiter is going to be in Pisces. Aquarius first, but then Pisces. So to have Jupiter, Saturn together, it shows restriction and expansion in harmony. So Saturn is always restricting us for the good of us. We may not like it, but he is restricting. Jupiter is giving opportunities. We just get opportunities without having any restriction, any sober thought to it, which Saturn brings. It is not going to be that balanced a life. So 2022, 2023, rare years where both Jupiter and Saturn are going to be in full dignity. By full dignity, I mean Saturn is in his own sign. all 2022 mostly in Capricorn. I'd already made a video of it, and Jupiter is from April 13th, 2022 goes into Pisces. So we can enjoy this year of balance, and I feel that after April we will also get a better handle on COVID and try to bring a balance. I mean, some things are not in the hands of humans, it is beyond us. Even those of us who watch astrology and take it very seriously, we are also humans. So there's something beyond that. But what I can say is that whatever the divine play is there, we as humans, as we watch these two planets in dignity, they are going to create fertile ground for growth, and that is what we have to think. So we have to create some boundaries for ourselves, and within that we have to also enjoy the blessings of higher knowledge, of spirituality. Jupiter will bring this aspect of higher self, because it is in Pisces, it is the last sign of the zodiac. But they can also be some major transformations, because the transformation of the last sign of the zodiac, that means we are planning for the future here, and therefore that planning can also lead to big transformation. So what about Jupiter retrograde? Jupiter retrogrades on 28th of July and goes direct on 23rd of November. It is a 4-month retrograde, and Jupiter will remain throughout this time in Uttara Bhadra Nakshatra. It's going to begin its retrograde at 14 degrees of Pisces and retrogrades back to 4 degrees of Pisces. If you have planets placed there or ascendant at these degrees, you are in for a rather pleasurable time, because Jupiter will station at 14 degrees of Pisces on 28th of July, giving a real opportunity for those who have a planet at 14 degrees, planets or moon, sun, ascendant at 14 degrees of Pisces, and then it retrogrades back to 4 degrees of Pisces by 23rd of November. So November, December, Jupiter will be around 4 degrees of Pisces and giving mega super opportunities for people with these degrees, and especially if you have your ascendant or sun or moon placed there, then it is really nice energy for you. Jupiter starts its nakshatra journey in Shatabhishak. I already talked about it. This is when this is about healing and transformation, but it can also be about the viruses going out of control. So be careful around that time. 1st of March to 28th of April, Jupiter is in Purva Bhadrapada, partly in Aquarius, and then from 13th of April in Pisces, Purva Bhadra. Purva Bhadra is a journey to a beautiful place. It is encouraging us to refocus, to develop ourselves, to move towards a higher, more spiritual self. Jupiter will mostly only do one transit over Purva Bhadra. It is a 2-month transit. Planets there get opportunities and good luck and generally feel happy with Jupiter's transit. And then from 28th April right up to February 2023, Jupiter is in Uttara Bhadra Nakshatra. Uttara Bhadra is nakshatra of deep spirituality, but it's also about living life, of finishing tasks that were left unfinished, of improving the quality of life, making sure of supporting your future. So thinking about your future and using the Jupiter transit to plan for a better future, not just for ourselves, for others as well. This is the penultimate nakshatra. Revati will be 2023. So we are going to enjoy this transit, and Jupiter retrogrades in Uttara Bhadra. So this is a long transit, and any planets you have, your ascendant, sun, moon, other planets will be blessed with these nakshatras. I will be talking separately about how all these different planets affect you in 2022. But for Jupiter, the thing to remember is that the Guru is giving you wisdom. Jupiter is the Guru. He's giving you wisdom to deal with life's ups and downs. He's expanding your horizons. He's allowing you to look at a bigger picture, not just a small picture just about yourself, but a bigger picture. And with that, we will finish 2022 older and wiser, more knowledgeable than we started it, without so much aggression and stress. Jupiter has 3 conjunctions. On 20th of March, while he's still in Aquarius, he conjoins with Mercury, and we'll have a planetary war on 20th of March. So be careful on that day. But it doesn't last very long, but they are conjoining together. And when I talk about March planets, I'll talk about that later. In April, on 30th of April, there's a Jupiter-Venus conjunction. By now, Jupiter is in Pisces in a Hamsa Mahapurusha yoga as well. Venus is in its exaltation sign, but their conjunction can be clash of 2 gurus, opposite ideas on 30th of April. That is also the day there is a solar eclipse. So it's a rather disturbed energy, so be aware of that. And then on 28th of May, there is a conjunction with Mars. Mars is a more rarer conjunction, happens once every 2 years. Jupiter, Mars are friends, but the conjunction is also a planetary war. Mars will be in Pisces, Jupiter will be in its own sign. So just keep 28th of May calm and not plan anything, because they can bring about a conflict, or through conflict we can also get wisdom. Usually all planetary wars with Jupiter is always a clash about ideas and knowledge, and whenever these other planets clash with Jupiter, they want something of what Jupiter has, but at the same time they want to Jupiter to acknowledge their contribution as well. So this year, the 3 main conjunctions are with Mercury, with Venus, and with Mars. The Sun conjunction is not called a conjunction, it's called a combustion. And so that is early part of March. And how all these things will affect you, I'm going to talk about it in a separate video, so that you can see for each sign. So thank you. All the best. Do remember to subscribe. Also check out my Saturn conference information on my website, komilla.com.